All right, this is going to be a look at the play of the Ravens' new dynamic duo at inside linebacker, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, or Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. I don't know whose name you want to say first. I feel like it's interchangeable depending on the play. They're so complementary to each other, and they're so athletic and quick. I wonder if we have solved, quote, some of our coverages over the middle of the field. I'm not stating that I think we have, but I feel like these two guys allowed to cover in the middle of the field, outside the hashes or right on the hashes, helps us out with some of the issues that we've had with the pass game. But as it said, this is going to be a film study video on their play. I think it's 18 plays that I've got to show you. Of course, statistically, they didn't have a huge impact in terms of number of tackles, 6 tackles each. But Roquan had a sack, had another play where he hit the quarterback. Queen had a play where he hit the quarterback. I think they combined for 3 passes defensed, maybe 2, and of course had 1 interception apiece, which I will show you. I feel like we are extremely blessed right now to have these two guys. I understand that the price tag was high for what we gave up to acquire Roquan Smith, but in my opinion, is worth it. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I didn't know how good I knew he was good, and I did a video after the trade, where I tried to explain what I thought I saw in terms of how good he was, how talented he was, and how different and unique he really is. I will be honest with you. I've never coached someone who does the things at inside linebacker that Roquan Smith does, and this is the third time I've had that thought. I think the second time I've expressed it in a video because his talent level is just unbelievable, number one, and he does some things that you don't necessarily coach less athletic people to do in that manner. Now there's method behind the madness though, because it works. And at the end of the video, or near the end of the video, I think the next to last play I show you, maybe the last, I will show you Patrick Queen doing an orthodox move, kind of almost recreating something Roquan does earlier in the game. This is probably going to be a long video. I've been trying to put out some YouTube shorts, quick content, like minute-long videos to augment or complement the longer film study videos that some people enjoy, and I know that some people do not. So be that as it may, let's get started with the film. Like I said, 18 or 19 plays. This first one is from the first possession, and I'm not going to spot shadow these guys. I mean, you know where they're going to line up, right? They're going to line up at inside backer, second level of the defense. Occasionally, Queen or Smith will line up near the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a scramble by Pickett, a 3-yard gain. Of course, Smith slams him to the ground. Really an impactful play for a lot of reasons. First of all, this is actually not the slam. My apologies. This is just Pickett scrambling. Look, Roquan's over here, locked up with a tight end. And Pickett's athletic. I mean, he gets out of here. We've kind of betrayed our B gap in this sense. We've kind of left open this wide lane because JPP's gone upfield in his rush lane, C gap, and it looks like, we've picked a wrong gap, left a huge space. But look at Roquan close to finish this off. For a moment there, I was mistaken. I thought this is one where he slammed him. It's a 3-yard gain. Like I said, all right, second one, first possession. This is the sack by Roquan. Him and Queen are lined up. And this is the thing that is really unique about these guys. This is the third time I feel like I have seen this, where one of them blitzes, and I think this even happened with Bynes early in the year, and a guy backs off. So in this case, Roquan's going to back off. Obviously, Queen gets the initial pressure up the middle. The Steelers, pass pro just didn't account for both of them, or tried to account for both of them, and only one blitzed. I actually really like this blitz. I have said this many times. People disagree with me, no problem. I like mugging it, the old Johnson blitz from the Eagles, and then we drop out Bowser and we drop out JPP. So we get pressure with a 3-man rush. Am I saying this can happen all the time? No. All right, but let's get back to the rationale or reason for this video. So Queen's going to get some pressure on Pickett, and then Pickett's going to break the tackle. Look where Roquan is. His heels are back here on the 48 as Queen has him in his grasp. Roquan just takes off. And this is the slam. I know there were Steelers fans complaining. I mean, I can't fault them for seeing their starting quarterback get slammed and nothing called. But, I mean, I don't know. On some level, I just feel like this is football. But I understand that in this day and age, they're protecting quarterbacks so much. It's a physical play. Hopefully Kenny Pickett is okay, number one. But this shows you the strength and the explosiveness that Roquan has when he gets someone in his grasp like a Kenny Pickett, who's not, just not an equivalent athlete in terms of size, strength, speed, and explosiveness. He's a tone setter. Same play, end zone angle. Again, you'll see Queen blitz, Roquan drop off, JPP drops out. Bowser's off screen to our left, and he drops out as well. 3-man rush. Queen gets through, doesn't finish it, unfortunately. Bowser also didn't finish one earlier in the game. In this case, Roquan finished it clearly. Like I said, hopefully Kenny Pickett is okay, but Roquan Smith is just an amazing athlete in terms of explosiveness, recognition, agility, and ability to redirect during the play. That was something I noticed when he got traded to the Ravens. His ability to redirect during the play, I thought, is just unparalleled. My favorite trio to have at the second level here, Queen, Smith, and Hamilton. This is second possession. It's going to be a run by Najee Harris out of 11 personnel for 5 yards. When I talk about redirect, I mean, watch Roquan. He can jump one way, and I cannot prove this. I really don't know anyone who I could talk to that was talented enough to confirm this for me. I think sometimes he jumps to one side to influence the back to go back to the other side because that's where he wants him to go. I have no way to prove that, and I cannot offer to you why my brain is putting that together. I've just seen this happen so many times with Roquan Smith, just in the short time that he's been here. And then when we traded for him, of course, all of us that are Ravens content creators, we went and watched a shit ton of Roquan Smith film. I saw him do this with the Bears too. I'm not saying that no other inside linebacker does that. It seems to me he does this consistently, and it works out in his favor often. All right, moving on now to, that was a shared tackle by Smith and Queen, by the way. Fourth possession, which is going to be the possession that ends in an interception by Smith. This is 1st and 10 from the 35 or negative 35. Queen's going to get a pressure, and it's a hell of an effort by Queen. He runs over Najee Harris, who's a big dude in and of itself, obviously. Harris kind of root hogs him a little bit, almost tries to tackle him, and Queen stays on his feet. How athletic a move is that? Underrated because it's a great. First of all, this is Mitch Trubisky, so it's a great play by him with pressure. Roquan does to delve into the Roquan technique for a moment. Watch his helmet when he reads pass. We used to call this ping pong eyes. Ping pong, the ball goes back and forth from one side of the table to the other very quickly. Particularly at the high level. If you're sorry, then most ping pong exchanges are over in like 2 or 3 hits. But his eyes go from the quarterback to the receiver multiple times. Now, he's not able to close out there and get enough width to do anything about it. I don't know if I give you the all-22 on the next play, but I feel like this gives you an example of why he is so aware. Because he uses his eyes. We've talked about this for a couple of years with our linebackers. We had stretches last year where Josh Bynes showed it, but not at that level. Take a look at Queen again, man. The effort. Staying on his feet. How many times does a blitzer get root hogged like that and then stay on his feet? Pretty incredible. 8-yard gain. Credit to Trubisky, and I think that's Johnson. Same play, all 22. Okay, so yeah. Roquan, I would think that you would like him to get a little bit more width, but he's the low hole dropper in what looks to me like our zone blitz 3 deep, 3 under coverage, where Bowser has no work over here to the left-hand side, bottom side of the screen, where there's 2 tight ends. So it's easy for me to say, like, hey, I'd like to see Roquan, since he recognizes the route and sees it, get a little bit more width. But he's responsible for the middle of the field, and those seams are kind of open in that 3 deep, 3 under anyway. It's really your hot 2 if you're the outside guy. So that's a topic for another day. 2nd and 4, same possession. I think this is going to be a split tackle between Roquan and Calais Campbell, I believe. Doesn't look like Calais Campbell. This is the move I'm talking about. Watch Roquan jump to this side, and then an O-lineman try to work up to him. I think it's the tackle. And then Roquan goes underneath the O-lineman. A very rare angle of pursuit. Tackle inside releases JPP. I don't know that JPP even really touched him. I think I do give the end zone angle of this one. Uh, and look, Queen does the same move later on. I think he's I think he's incredibly intelligent. Like I'm talking about in the NFL film study guys, I suspect that he's like top 1% of the top 1% of film study guys. I think he understands schemes and I think he understands formations and what those could possibly mean. And I think that helps him recognize things. So once he knows it's run, I just got to get to the damn ball now because I know it's run. Yeah, he's looking in the backfield, but I think he recognizes things, and there's no way for me to prove that absent like talking to the dude or him doing an interview with some reporter who will ask those types of questions. Tight end motion, same play, end zone angle. Tight end motions in, same size as the back. So a gun. I don't know what that means for the Steelers in terms of run pass ratio. I guess it is Calais who's there with Smith. Also Jones, who I thought played his butt off Sunday. You guys let me know what you think of in the comment section. A unique path. I mean, for real. How often do you see inside linebackers just juke an offensive lineman and still get to the ball? He's a very unique player. I don't know what our salary cap situation will look like next year with all the question marks we have, but I want this guy on our team next year. I'm sure you do too. All right, so that leads us to the 2nd and 8 at the 17, where the Steelers have been driving, and we are fortunate to get the interception by Smith. Amazing play. And I will give you the all 22 in a moment so you can see the route distribution. Great hands. He's trying to take this to the house. He is not trying to get 20 yards. He's trying to find a seam and he's a playmaker. It sounds crazy to say this because I think he was universally recognized as, if not the top inside linebacker in the league, 1 or 2 or maybe 3, depending on who your favorite team is. He might be better than we thought. There might be more levels to his game, more things that he's good at than we are even aware. I think this is a cool coverage by the Ravens, where bottom side here we've got Marlon Mann on the tight end, and we've kind of freed up Smith to play underneath. He's not assigned to any one man. You'll see the all 22 angle, and you'll see what I mean. I know some of these plays I replay a lot. Let me know in the comment section if you don't like that. All right, so this is Roquan now. He's to the weak side of the formation because here's the tight end. These guys are really interchangeable in that way a lot of times, if you ask me. I think what we've got here is we've got Queen man on the back and Humphrey man on the tight end. And then to the trips, we've got some kind of zone call where Marcus Williams, would theoretically help out with something like this on number 3 so that this trip side safety wasn't stressed by, let's say they ran, a slot fade, and then they ran this. Marcus Williams would help out with number 3 vert so that Clark could play 2 vert. And I think there's some communication going on. So there's a lot to be said as to why Roquan is, quote, free to make this play. Because of our coverage against trips, I think his man to the single receiver side, which ended up being a tight end, and a running back, and then zone to the front side. So Roquan's kind of, I don't want to say free, he has an area, but he's able to read things. So look at the response that you're getting from Humphrey on the tight end, and then Queen on the running back. Clearly man. And then this is not man up here. So this isn't a mixed combo coverage. This is just a typical call for trips. Is the single receiver and the running back same side usually get man, and then the trip side usually get some kind of zone. At least in my experience. And that's just limited coverages that we used in high school to try to stay sound against all versions of trips with the running back set to the backside away from trips. Amazing play by Roquan Smith. All right, 5th possession. This one again ends in an interception. Somehow Queen's interception topped Smith's. And we get 4 pass plays in a row where they're eating us up. They meaning the Steelers. We're playing man here. Johnson for 11. Against, I think, Ardarius Washington. Next one, Pickens down the bottom of the screen, 25 to Humphrey. It does kind of look like he's, I don't want to say pushing off a little bit, but he's definitely using his hands to clear space. But like I mentioned in the preview video for this game, Pickens doesn't have to extend his hands to quote, push off. So I don't know that those things are ever going to be called. So kudos to him for having the the physical attributes to do that and the intelligence and awareness to do it at the right time. If he's not extending his arms, it may not ever be called. All right, 7-yard gain to Olszewski, that I think Peters is trying to strip him. And then the very next play is Freiermuth for 9. I mean, they're ripping us. I think this is 4 plays in a row, guys. I might be wrong. There might be an incomplete pass in there, but I don't believe so. They're ripping us. Intermediate short stuff, except for Pickens down the left sideline, right, when we went man. All right, here's Queen's pick, and there's a lot to say about this, where we're putting people in a better situation against empty. First of all, unbelievable catch, the timing, the ability to hold on to the football as he goes to the ground. This is your practice diving catches. I don't know what your familiarity is, but we did them like every day for 4 or 5 minutes a day before practice. Every person, every kid, practice your diving catches and going to the ground. We used a fall pad, so 3 foot of padding for them to fall on, so there was no risk of injury. Of course, during the game, you're falling on turf or grass, but at least in practice, as we, quote, practice the diving catches, you're practicing securing the football in a manner that doesn't hurt people. But look, it's cover 3, I believe. All right, here's your 4 underneath droppers. Here's your 3. And I love what we're doing. Now, I'm going to take you back a little bit here. What teams had done to us in the past. This was the Bills this year, and this was the Bengals last year, and someone else last year as well. You may recall. Now, Marcus Williams, act like he's not here for a minute, okay? So act like this guy's not there. What teams would do, and this is Boyd, and then also I think Waddle for the Dolphins this year. They would run this route and then go up the seam, and remember, Queen would flatten with it. He would flatten with it. Why? Because he didn't have any help to his outside. Because the corner was getting off, so he had to play that out. I shouldn't say he had to, excuse me. He was more prone to take the out. I would offer to you that he should not try to jump the out. But the Dolphins, credit to the Dolphins this year. They saw what the Bengals did last year. It was the 66 or 63-yard touchdown to Boyd up in Cincinnati the second time we played the Bengals. I don't know if you guys remember it. Well, what's the adjustment we've done now? We've gone cover 3. We're protecting him. I'm not advocating to play cover 3 against empty. I didn't like it myself for various reasons. But here we've got someone to his outside protecting him so he can be inside 2, which is where I want him anyway. Since he's inside 2, sees the quarterback throwing it, breaks on the ball, boom. If Marcus Williams isn't there, his responsibility, his leverage on 2 is going to be different. Now, 2 doesn't run an out, or it doesn't run an out and up. All right, so it wouldn't affect his leverage side, but it would affect his ability to be this far into the middle of the field if Marcus Williams wasn't here, if we were playing that coverage that I had described. I think there's some brilliance there in terms of protecting Queen in empty, and he's taking improved pass drops. So it's not all about protecting a guy who's just freaking playing at an all-pro level right now for real. Breaks on the ball, boom. Amazing. He had some brilliant plays that he made his rookie year. Is this the best play you've ever seen him make? I mean, because of the situation, it's at the Steelers, who I believe we had lost 4 straight against the Steelers. So, this win this is a great win. I'm not on that whole, Steelers are a bad team, this is not a great win. No, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we got to win to move to 9-4. I think this might be his best play ever. Forgive me, I had to get a drink. Let me know what you think of that thought in the comment section. Is it his best play ever? Or is it just one of 20 that he's made? I feel like the timing of it, the leaping element makes it spectacular. Maybe his best play ever. All right, I'm going to digress for a second. Got 2 more plays to go over. If you're interested, have a merch site set up that is hopefully getting cleaned up. And we got the graphic on long sleeve tees, women's tees, which you see on the right, long sleeve tees on the left, hoodies, stuff like that. If you click the link in the description, then you'll see a surprising shirt that we have available with a specific graphic. If you order it and the quality of the graphic is not the highest level, then let me know, and we'll figure out a way to make it up to you. And these are something that we want to refine and get the merch site hopefully a little better, so higher quality. I know those look kind of bland, but check the link in the description. I'll post it in the comment section as well. And let me know what you think. Even if you don't want to purchase anything or want to support, that's no problem. Then just let me know what you think of the things that are there. There's an iPhone case cover, Android case cover, coffee mug, magnet decal or something. I just did a whole bunch of stuff to fool around with it. So just fun for me to see what could be possible. I ordered one myself, and it'll arrive next week so I can verify the quality. All right, back to the film study. Great stances. Guys are ready to play. Eyes on the read. Third quarter, 6 possession. I think the Steelers' second possession of the third quarter, excuse me. Now, Roquan and Queen get credit for this, but I want to talk about this a little bit. This is our nickel look. Watch what JPP is doing to this right tackle. First of all, he's stemming down. I'm not sure why, but I know Hamilton shows up at the end of the play. So he could have gotten a call from Hamilton. Look at the feet of the tackle. Where do they start? Would you call that 3 yards from the inside of the hash? I guess 3 yards? That's where they end up. That foot ends up 3 yards from the other hash. I feel like JPP has moved his feet. I don't know. Maybe 2.5 yards. He's condensed the gap, meaning JPP is responsible for this C gap. But he's also going to condense the tackle down into B gap, which Roquan fills immediately. And then Harris has the bounce because there's nothing there. I think Queen and Roquan are there. Apparently, they both got credit for this tackle. No, it's Queen and JPP. My apologies. Amazing play by JPP. I don't know about you. I feel like every week he gives us 3 or 4 high-level plays like this. And we struggle if we're going to beat good teams. Okay, because let me address that. If we're going to beat good teams, we're going to have to slow down or stop the run out of our nickel with a 6-man look. 6-man front. All right, so our 4-2. And JPP is the guy who, in a lot of ways, looks like the best, along with Bowser, at being that edge defender on run plays at him. Last play, and this is the one that I think Queen does his best Roquan Smith impersonation. Now, there's 2 guys involved. I think Smith is involved at the end. And then Brent Urban and Jones are also clogging this up. So, give them credit. Our guys' technique on double teams, I think, is pretty damn good normally. They do a great job of splitting or at least getting in there and occupying 2 guys like this here. And then Urban also. Watch Urban. Urban's in this, tight 5, like the Patriots play a lot of. Watch him just move down the line of scrimmage. Take this tackle with him. Clark is blitzing off the edge. And then let's talk about Queen. Let's show Queen. Now, you'll see it a little bit better from the end zone angle. Watch Queen dip around. I'll replay it a couple of times. I don't know. Maybe it's not as swift and quick as Roquan, but it's the same move. Yes, linebackers do this at all levels. Yes, they do. But these 2 guys, they don't even hardly get touched. I know that the guard does touch him gently, but when they do this, they're at the play, at the point of attack. These 2 are a handful. And I know that I've talked about Brent Urban. I think that's Jones trying to split the double team there. JPP, other guys in this video. These 2 are really making the whole damn thing go because of how well they're playing in there. Have we had a better inside linebacker duo that were both this young? At the same time, both of them being so young. I don't know. It's a lot to put on Queen's shoulders, but he's showing signs of making plays. Look, he makes plays on this side of the line of scrimmage. He makes plays in this box against the run. We have seen him into the boundary, have good coverage. And he's just made an amazing interception moving backwards. What else can you ask out of an inside linebacker? You can't ask him to do anything else. Making plays forward, making plays laterally, making plays backwards. We're extremely blessed with these guys. And when we have these 2 on the field together, I think we can stop anyone. As long as we're healthy up front and healthy behind them. When I say stop, I mean, hold them to 20, 21 points or less, somewhere around there, 23, something like that. I mean, every team, not just the teams we're going to face over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, the Browns might score a ton of points on us because their style of play is different than most teams across the league, and Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs that you'll ever see. Let me know what you think of this film study. I know it went on kind of long. I digressed talking about other guys maybe, but the pursuit, the awareness. Look, the athletic skills are there, clearly. The tackling ability. I know we had a couple of issues in tackling, which basically I would attribute to leverage. But these two guys, the awareness level is what seems to be incredibly high. And I think it's a combination of both of those guys. I'm not just going to flatly say it's all Roquan Smith. I think it's both of them. I think it's our coaches. I think it's other guys. Film study and preparedness and awareness on field isn't just on one or two guys. It's a team effort in terms of your position. There's other guys that Malik Harrison, Josh Bynes, Ross, that I'm sure are involved, and there's staff members behind the scenes whose names we don't even know, who sit and watch hours and hours of film of the opponent 2 weeks from now to prepare these guys. And then these guys they're basically handed a tablet and handed a playlist, kind of like I showed you, but a playlist of plays in consecutive order with data, and then they have to watch it, internalize it, and then recognize it. And I think Queen and Smith are doing starting pre-snap, A+ recognition, A+. Post-snap, immediately their read, I think, is A+. Their reactions looks like an A. I'm talking about the Steelers game, all right? And then, yes, there was a couple of issues with tackling. I haven't looked at those to accurately describe them with 100% confidence for real, but I suspect that most of it was leverage, because they're physically capable of tackling anybody, and they have shown that on film, including some of the plays I showed you here tonight. Man, let me know what you think of these two guys. I am blown away at the level of play we're getting at inside linebacker, and those two interceptions that we got, two of the most amazing plays that we've had in one game from inside linebackers that I can remember. We had the L.J. Fort fumble return for a touchdown against the Texans in 2020, I think. Amazing, right? After the forced fumble by, I think, Humphrey. I remember some other great plays by inside linebackers, don't get me wrong. To mention Ray Lewis, there was dozens, right? Maybe 100, a couple hundred. How many games have we had where two separate inside linebackers made amazing plays like these guys did? I just don't remember one. Maybe there's other people who have a better memory than me. I think their play level is A+ right now, and we are extremely blessed and fortunate to have these guys. Hopefully we can get a deal done with Roquan Smith after winning the Super Bowl or however the season ends. To me, the sky's the limit when these two guys are playing at this level. Appreciate you guys' time. If you have any questions or thoughts about other film studies this week, let me know. The next one I'll be putting out hopefully late tonight, early tomorrow morning, will be on our other dynamic duo, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, and how they return to form in Sunday's win over the Steelers. Appreciate you guys' time. If you enjoyed this video and you listen this long, please consider sharing it on social media to help the video get more reach.